everybody, my name is Bragster and welcome to my first of hopefully many of these, which is my predictions for Impact's Hard To Kill pay-per-view. Beforehand I was considering doing these predictions videos necessarily with someone else, but I don't know anyone that watches Impact. Only I watch it because I do the TW series, so if you haven't checked that out already, please check that out. But because I do my TW series, I started watching Impact a lot more, and I thought, why not include these in my predictions contests? In the future, I might be able to get more people involved, but for now, it will just be me and my predictions. Put your predictions down in the comments down below. I'm just going to run through the card and I'm going to give my own predictions to this, which I actually think is a really, really good card. I'm weirdly excited for this. This is what is going to be my first, I think, big Impact pay-per-view I've watched since Slammiversary. I watched Genesis, but I would say that was like a B pay-per-view. But this is the first one I've watched since Slammiversary, so surprisingly I'm quite excited, bear in mind that a couple of the storylines I'm not as queued in on. I have been keeping up, but obviously I'm not as queued up on everything, but I still believe I can give this a really good go. So the first match on the card is Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K, facing Rosemary and Crazy Steve, formerly allies in, I think, a stable called the Decay, or just Decay. But yeah, so they're back to teaming up. Now, this is a tough one really to call. I'm going to go for Rosemary and Crazy Steve. I think it could end up with something like Crazy Steve pinning Caleb. I think Caleb can quite easily take the pin and not be knocked back at all with his momentum, because he's annoying, and that's the point. He's a heel that's meant to be annoying, so he can get his heat back immediately. So I'm going to go with Rosemary and Crazy Steve here. Rosemary is one of my favourite women's wrestlers in the world at the moment. I'm really into Rosemary. I really do like what she does. And Crazy Steve, I'm on the bandwagon of Crazy Steve. I wasn't before. Then the Genesis pay-per-view happened, and I'm really into what Crazy Steve does now. So yeah, I kind of think that these guys deserve the win a bit more, and I think Tennille and Caleb will not be affected at all by losing this match. Then, in my opinion, the hardest match on the card to call, which is the Karate Man versus Ethan Page. If this is anything but a cinematic match, I will be very, very surprised, because there's no way they cannot do it as a cinematic match. I don't know how they are going to do this. I have no clue how they're going to do this. It's not like people like Suicide and people like Manik, where you can probably put someone else in the mask and, you know, you can get away with it. You can't do that here. It's quite obviously Ethan Page versus Ethan Page. So I'm not really sure who to go with. I'm going to go with... There's a chance this match might not actually happen. I'm calling it now. There's a chance this match might not happen. But I'm going to go with Ethan Page. I think what this could be in terms of storyline could be Ethan Page getting that win and defeating the demon in his head of the Karate Man. And because Ethan Page's contract, I think, is up soon. Is rumoured to be up soon anyway, allegedly. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Karate Man won, but I think Ethan Page winning this one, he can defeat his demon of the Karate Man. What goes on from then on, whether he leaves Impact, whether that snaps him into leaving, or whether it snaps him into helping out Josh Alexander and then the North get back on the same page, I'm not really sure, if I'm completely honest. But I'm going to go with Ethan Page. This is the one I do not have a clue on at all. And then we have possibly one of the matches I'm looking forward to most, which is the old school rules match between Eric Young, Deonna and Joe Doering versus Rhino, Tommy Dreamer and Cousin Jake. Now, I'm a massive fan of the Deonas. I think they're really good, actually. I was expecting them to be a throwaway tag team when I first started watching Impact, but they've turned out to be really, really good. And I love Eric Young. I love his character at the moment. I love his music. And I believe this one's an easier one to call. I know they've tried to send us down the wrong path with what happened on Impact with Eric Young, Deonna and Joe Doering standing tall. But they've got to stand tall again, right? They've got to. They've got to stand tall again because, quite simply, they're a new stable. They're brand new. You've got an actual stable versus a stable of individuals. Now, the individuals, don't get me wrong, could win down the line. But I think, especially Cousin Jake deserves his redemption. But not yet. Not yet. Not yet. He needs this down. He needs to go down and down and down and then get his redemption. And I think this is going to be one of those moments where they get kind of destroyed. I think this could be not necessarily a squash match, but it could literally be one where, like, one team is quite obviously winning the match and they just destroy them. That could easily happen here, and I think it will be Young, Deonna and Doering for me. Then we've got the Knockouts Tag Team Championship match between Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz versus Havok and Nevaeh. This one's another tough one to call, actually. They could go either way. They could go with the dominant tag team of Havok and Nevaeh, where, you know, they are two reasonably big, powerful women, and have them just dominate the division. Or they could go for Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, the more arrogant, the more... I don't want to say interesting because I don't want that to come off the wrong way. But their characters, they're more characters. Havok and Nevaeh are more just powerhouses and dominant, and that's their character. Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz are just entertainment from start to finish of watching them. And I can't really make out whether them having the titles or them chasing the titles is more fun to watch. I'm going to go with them having the titles. And it probably seems obvious because I've kind of picked them from the start when I saw all of the names. I kind of picked these guys from the start. But sometimes in wrestling, predictable isn't always the bad thing. And I think Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz should take this one. I wouldn't be disappointed if Havok and Nevaeh take this one at all. I really like them. I think this is a very interesting match where I'm just going to enjoy this match. I'm not really bothered either way who wins because I think either way the Knockouts Tag Team titles are in such capable hands. But I think I will go with Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. I really do enjoy them and their promos and just their presence on screen. I love it. Then we've got the Knockouts Championship match between Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie. This is a weird one because for me, Deonna Purrazzo has to win. I think. Just looking at the build-up, I can't see them giving it to Taya Valkyrie. I don't know why. I just can't see it. I know she's like the longest reigning champion or something like that, but I just can't see Taya winning this. I think Deonna Purrazzo needs this big win. I don't know who could take the title off Deonna Purrazzo, really, because she's beaten Rosemary, she's beaten Taya Valkyrie, she's beaten Jordan Grace. I'm not really sure who else can take that title off of her. Maybe they're bringing someone in. I don't really know. I genuinely don't know who's going to take this title off of Deonna at the moment. But I think the title isn't going off of her on Saturday. I really don't. Deonna Purrazzo is walking out with that title. They try to throw us off again, I reckon, with Taya losing the match during midweek to Kimberly. But I think that might play into the things of, you know, I think this could play off later. I think these will carry on feuding because of obviously Susan being involved. I think Susan will probably get involved again, if I'm honest. But I really don't know I don't know how they're going to go about this, but I do think Deonna Purrazzo is walking out with that title. Then there's a match that I'm really, really excited for, and that is Chris Bay versus Manik versus Rohit Raju. Now, this one is just going to be an awesome match, and I think Manik's walking out with it. I think it's too soon to take the title off of Manik. Chris Bay got a big win. He pinned Suicide on Impact. And he got a massive win there. Really good stuff for Chris Bay. I think that's going to up his stock. I think that's so if when he loses on Saturday, it doesn't affect him as much. Rohit Raju will get too interested in trying to unmask Manik to reveal him as TJP, and that's going to cost him there, and then Manik's just going to go about his business and win the match. I was and ahhing whether this would be the time that Manik does get unmasked. I don't think it will be. I think they're going to keep going at this for a little while longer. Just watching what happened on Impact this week, I can't see Manik getting unmasked here. I think Rohit will just get too caught up in trying to do it, and Manik will then pick up the win there. So yeah, I think that one's a pretty easy one to predict, to be honest. That could actually come and bite me on the arse, saying that. That could really bite me on the arse. Anyway, a match that I have no idea what to expect. Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callahan in a barbed wire massacre match. And I'm going to go with Eddie Edwards. I don't really know what a barbed wire massacre match is. All I know, well, I do actually. There's barbed wire ropes. They're kind of, the ropes are barbed wire, and they're all around the ring, and then obviously they get thrown into them and all bloodied up. Now, I know Eddie Edwards would quite happily bleed and stuff, but Sami Callahan would go that extra mile, and I'm going to go with Eddie Edwards. It's a risk. It's such a risk. This is a tough one to call, because if they give it Sami Callahan, I wouldn't be surprised, because obviously Ken Shamrock could get involved. But if it is, they're kind of putting it over as this could be the end of this feud, and Eddie Edwards should win that, I guess. I don't really mind. Either way, I think this is just going to be a great quality match, and it's going to be gruesome to watch, but I think it's going to be a really high quality match, and yeah, it's going to be great, and I don't really mind who wins either way, again, which is what I love about Impact at the moment. It doesn't really matter who wins and who loses. I'm happy no matter what, because it's just entertaining. There's so many different ways they can go. But right now, I think Eddie Edwards has got this one. And then the main event of the evening, AEW World Champion Kenny Omega and the Impact World Tag Team Champion, the Good Brothers, versus the Impact World Champion Rick Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns. Wrong. So, while editing this video, Impact have put out a statement that apparently Alex Shelley is unavailable for the match on Saturday, or today when this video comes out. So instead it will be Moose, Rick Swann and Chris Sabin versus AEW World Champion Kenny Omega and the Impact World Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers. Now, I know I didn't mention that Rick Swann was Impact World Champion or Moose was TNA World Champion. There's a lot of champions in this match. You guys get the gist. But it doesn't change my prediction. My prediction initially was for Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers to win. My prediction is the same again here. I think actually the addition of Moose makes it more obvious that Kenny Omega and that are going to win in a weird way, and I know that means that Moose won't take the pin in this, I know that, but it makes it more obvious because they can just play off the fact that Rick Swann and Moose don't get along, and that Moose wants his title and this, that and the other, and Chris Sabin could take the pin, or even Rick Swann could probably take the pin from Moose, a Moose spear or something like that. That's how I think this is going to go down, in all honesty. Yeah, it's just, I can't see anything else happening in this one. Doesn't mean it's not going to be a great match, because it's going to be an incredible match. These are 6 incredible wrestlers going for the win here, and they're really going to play off the whole dynamics between these guys, which is great. I love that. But yeah, it doesn't change my prediction at all. I know there's a pre-show match between Josh Alexander and Brian Myers. Quick prediction, it's not going to be an official one, I guess, but it will be, I reckon it will probably be Brian Myers it'll be Josh Alexander taking that one, sorry. I think it will prolong the feud and add a bit of mystique to that Ethan Page match on the main show. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this predictions video and want me to do more of this sort of thing, hit that like button and tell me in the comments down below that you're enjoying this, because if you guys tell me, I'll carry on doing these. I want to do these for WWE and AEW. I'll probably do WWE and AEW pay-per-views anyway, but if you want to see me do Impact ones as well from here on out, I will probably need you guys to tell me that you want to see more stuff like this to do with Impact especially. But yeah, if you have enjoyed it, just hit that like button, it does help me out. If you're new here, please do subscribe and check out my other stuff on the channel. If you like Impact, check out my TEW series, you might like it, and more content to watch, I guess. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I shall see all of you in the next video. See ya!